Hey, welcome back to the Genuine Ginger podcast. It's me, Mackenzie, and I hope you're having a great day. I'm glad that you're here. I thank you for choosing to listen to this podcast, and I'd love to hear from you. I've said this before, but it's just weird for me to not know you, to not know who you are listening to me. So I'd love to connect with you. You can find me on Instagram, the.genuine.ginger. You can go to my website, thegenuineginger.com, and leave a comment there. You can leave a comment on whatever you're watching, wherever you're listening to this. Just, I would love to hear from you. Leave a review, anything and all the things. It'd be fun to connect with you. So, um, today, I will be honest, I sat here for quite a while as I was trying to decide what to talk today on, and nothing was really coming to mind. And I was like, okay, well, let's go back to the me that I was 4 years ago, right? Because that's kind of where I started this podcast, and that's kind of um the things that I'm trying to share with you are the things that I've learned since then. And anyway, so I felt inspired, prompted, nudged, whatever term you want to use, to go on my Instagram and go back to like 4 years ago. Go back to when I first started posting on Instagram, because I haven't been an Instagrammer my whole life. I've been on Facebook for since high school or whatever. But anyways, so I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled back on my Instagram feed, and just looking, like, scrolled all the way back and then kind of started my way forward to see if there were any posts that jumped out at me of what I wanted to talk about. And I found a post, and all it was like a graphic, like with a quote on it, and there's this kind of angry looking cow on the picture, and it says, the quote is, "Awesome things will happen today if you choose not to be a miserable cow." And I remember when I first saw that, and I just thought that was so good, and so true, and like kind of like, well, duh. um but I guess it stuck out to me because I realized last week that over the last few weeks I've kind of been choosing to be a miserable cow. Obviously, like, not intentionally. Like, I wasn't like waking up and being like, I'm gonna be miserable today, yay. But I also wasn't choosing things that were helping me feel good. And um, I'll share a little bit of that. What I mean by that, or how that's been playing out in my life. So I've shared on here that we decided that we want to move, and we put our house up for sale. We found a house that we wanted to buy in the town that we want to move to. And like, when we first decided that we were going to move, and like things started shifting in that direction, like I was just like, oh my gosh, everything's just falling into place. This is going to be amazing. Like, it's all just going to happen, and we're going to be moved like within a couple months, or like a month or two. And like, things were moving pretty quickly in the direction that like led to me thinking that was going to be the case. And then all of a sudden things kind of started not falling quite into place the way that I thought they were. And one of the things is with our house selling. We listed our house about a month ago now, and like I thought that it was gonna, which I'm like, maybe this was really naive of me. Obviously, this is my first time selling a home, so, and I hadn't done really any research into the market of this area or anything, and so like I had no I had really nothing to base this off of other than just my hopes and dreams and expectations that maybe were a little bit unrealistic. But I've learned that I can do that. I can have unrealistic expectations with the God that I choose to believe in. And so I was like, oh yeah, this house, like, this is gonna sell like in a week or two, and like by next month we're gonna be in our new home. And that has not been the case, and I have not been happy about that. I have been I've had some resentment, and I've had some grumpiness, and it's I've we've had to keep our house clean, so that when people want to come see it, then it is a clean house for them to come see. And that has not been fun. I have 4 children home with me all day long, and if you have children, you know what a task that can be. And I've been like, that's been grumpy. That's made me grumpy is to have to keep my house clean, and just not being able to sell our house. And I've just been grumpy at the weather here, and just all the things. Just basically, I've been mad that we have not moved yet. And, um, like, not that there's anything wrong with feeling that way, right? Like, it's normal and natural for me to feel that way. But it also, like, wasn't helping anything. I wasn't a pleasant mom. I wasn't a pleasant wife. I was probably a pleasant friend, because I'm pretty good at, like, shifting into, like, being a pleasant person when I need to be. But um in reality, I mean, I wasn't miserable. I wouldn't say I was miserable, but like I said, I haven't been showing up the way that I wanted to. And and I knew, like, and everyone would tell me, and I was like, yeah, I know. And, like, I would even tell people, like, I know it'll all work out, and it's going to be fine. And I trust that if the timing is going to work out exactly the way that it needs to, and blah, blah, blah. And I was saying all of these things, but yet I was still just like, ugh, but I'm so mad that it's not working out the way that I wanted it to. And again, like, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you let that become, those feelings, we've talked about a beautiful state and a suffering state on other episodes. Like, I was having thoughts that were putting me in a suffering state, but yet I wasn't really doing anything to get out of that suffering state. I was just kind of like simmering there, like I said. And it wasn't, like, terrible. Like, I wasn't, like, it wasn't bad, but it also wasn't good, right? And so it's just like, over the last, even, like, literally just like the last day or 2 or 3, I've just decided, like, you know what, I don't want to feel this way anymore. And I do honestly, truthfully know that everything is going to work out the way that it needs to. And, like, I don't have to be grumpy about this, and I can choose to still see good every day, and choose good every day, and choose to be happy right here. Because honestly, I have a really good life right now. Like, truthfully, I like the home that we're in is really comfortable. We are able to afford it. Like everything that I have right now is perfect. The only thing that made me not be happy where I was because I wanted to be somewhere else, which, just now as I'm saying this, like, there's a lesson in that, right? Like, yes, it's okay to want to be somewhere else. And I feel like I've said this over and over again, but I feel like it's worth repeating. It's okay to want more, but not at the expense of not being happy where you are, right? Like, it's okay to want more, and it's okay to also be happy right where you are. Um, and so, it just comes down to choices, choosing to be positive, choosing to, and this is actually what now I'm reading from the caption that I wrote when I shared this post back clear. I don't even know when it was, but it said, I wrote, in all seriousness, this is something that I've been working on, is the power of choice, and owning my choices, choosing to be positive, choosing whether or not I'm going to be offended, choosing whether or not I'm going to be annoyed, choosing to keep going, choosing, these are all choices. And once we own up to them, things start to change and become more clear. And I think once I owned up to, like, you know what, I've kind of been making myself miserable, and I don't need to be that way. And there's so much that I can really enjoy that I don't want to miss right now. I did a meditation. I think it was Saturday, or I don't remember, sometime last week. I did a meditation, and I just, like, the message that I got from the meditation, it was kind of like a vision. Sounds really, I don't know, weird to say, but it was kind of, I think I've shared this before, the Resonance meditation app that I use. That's really great. I think it's like $3 on wherever, the app store. I suddenly couldn't remember that name, but I really enjoyed it. I don't do it all the time, but when I do it, it's always really good. And um, I just had this reminder of, like, I could see where I wanted to be in this kind of vision that I was having, and Christ was there with me, and he was just like, I know that you want to be there. I know that that's where you want to be, and like, you will be there. And this, in this vision that I had, this place that I wanted to be was kind of like far off in the distance, right? And he was like, and Christ was like, I know that that's where you want to be, and you will be there. Like, you'll have plenty of time to be in that place. But like, look at where you are now, and look at all of the things that you have like around you, and that you're going to be able to see and experience on your way to that place. Like, don't miss that, right? And we hear this all the time. I feel like, if you're in like the mindset world, right? It's like enjoy the journey, right? And we hear it all the time, but I don't know, it just hit me a different way of like, someday, and we hear this too, right? Like, someday you're going to look back on where you are right now and you're going to miss it. Like, maybe not all of it, right? Not all of the parts of it. I'm definitely probably never going to look back on my time in this town and miss the 110-degree weather, which gratefully we don't have very often here, but there are some things that I'm probably not gonna miss, but there probably will be things that I do miss, and especially like, because we don't know really what's in store for us. I know it's gonna be good overall, right? But like, I know that there are probably gonna be things that I'm gonna miss, and so I don't want to miss out on enjoying those things right now while I can. And like, the good is gonna come, we're gonna move, it's gonna happen. When it happens, it'll be perfect, and it'll be the right time. Well, it might not be perfect, but you know and so where in your life are you? Maybe you're not looking forward to a move, but maybe you're looking forward to a trip, or the weekend, or like, I saw a reel the other day too that talked about, as a society, we're constantly living for the weekend, or living for our next trip, or living for the next holiday or whatever. And like, yeah, it's great to have things to look forward to. I'm all for that. Like, plan the trips, look forward to the holidays, but no, not but, and look forward to those things, and also look forward to the things in your day to day. Enjoy the moments in your day to day, because awesome things will happen if you choose not to be a miserable cow, right? Like, there are awesome things that can happen to us every single day that we just have to notice. We just have to choose into, or choose out of the opposite. I thought it was really interesting in my caption that I wrote, not only do we choose to be positive, but choose to be offended. Are you going to choose to be offended by something? Or are you going to not let it bother you? Are you going to choose to be annoyed by something? Or are you not going to let it bother you? I've noticed that with my kids lately. Like, I have been annoyed by so much of what they do. And finally, like I said, over the last day or two, I realized when I was doing that. I didn't recognize that that's what I was doing, but I was choosing to be annoyed. And that's a choice that I can not choose if I don't want to. It takes practice. It's not like our natural instinct, right? But it can be done. And so that's my message for you today. This is a little bit more of a short and sweet, but just remember that awesome things will happen today, not next week, not when you go on your next trip, or during the next vacation or holiday or whatever, but today. Awesome things will happen today if you choose not to be a miserable cow. We'll catch you next week. Talk to you then. Love ya. Bye.